as we continue to monitor these numbers, they continue to rise. And so these are the numbers for April the 19th, 2020 at around 11:27. They released the numbers. And Georgia currently has 18,301 total cases of coronavirus in the state. They have 3,464 individuals that are hospitalized, and we now have 687 deaths at a 3.75% mortality rate and a 18.93% hospitalization rate. The top 5 counties all have over 1,000 cases, with Fulton County at 2,110 cases and 75 deaths. DeKalb County 1,452 cases and 24 deaths. Dougherty County is at 1,422 and 94 deaths. Cobb County is at 1,125 and 51 deaths, and Gwinnett County is at 1,099 cases and 38 deaths. Then every other county after that has between 600 and 100. That's 20 counties, and then another 40 counties have between 95 and 20, and the rest have under 20. For a grand total of all 159 counties, 157 have coronavirus cases. The unknown county cases are 254, so 254 individuals have not been assigned to a county, and there are 868 non-Georgia residents and 7 deaths that are accounted for outside of the state but happen in the state of Georgia. Currently, the state has tested 79,000 individuals, so 79,000, and of the 79,000, 18,000 are currently positive in the state. So we still have not cracked 100,000 cases studied or tests given in a state of 10 million. So that kind of lets you know where we are with the status of testing in the state. Is still woefully inadequate, and we are still going up the curve. The curve has not bent yet. So there have been some media reports that we are now in the flattening stage of the curve. The stats don't bear that out, and I would just ask them to refer to the data. And again, you can get this data at departmentofpublichealth.georgia.gov as it's released daily, twice a day. With regard to the most affected age group, still 18 to 59 at 62%, and then 60 plus at 34%. And the most affected sex is 54% female and 44% male. And by ethnicity, there are now almost 5,000 African Americans that are currently infected, and there have been 344 deaths of African Americans. So they're now releasing the deaths by race. So 359 African Americans have died of the coronavirus in the state of Georgia. There are currently about 3,000 Caucasian Americans, and about 248 of the deaths have been Caucasian. So disproportionately, the deaths are African American. Of the 680 something deaths, 359 of which are African American. So that's over 50%. So you can see that as well. And then they break down the deaths by county. Most of the individuals who have succumbed had some sort of underlying health condition, but we have deaths as young as in their 20s and the deaths as old as in their 90s. And so you need to keep a strong eye on what's happening in the state of Georgia with regard to these coronavirus cases. And there's been some talk about reopening the government. Again, the shelter-in-place order for the state ends on April the 30th, and so the governor has not indicated whether or not he will. The governor has not indicated whether or not he will renew the shelter-in-place. But as we know from the models, the spike in cases should be around this week coming up. So between April the 22nd and April the 27th is the expected peak of cases in Georgia. And as we can see, the cases continue to rise. And so we are not at the peak yet. And the governor has not issued any status on whether or not he will either remove the shelter in place, which is set to expire April the 30th, or he will extend it. So we need to get some more information about that. Let's kind of pull out and look at where we are as a country and the world with regard to coronavirus. So currently in the world, there are 2.3 million coronavirus cases, to be specific, 3.387 million cases of coronavirus. There have been 164,194 deaths, and 613,443 individuals have recovered, and that's the world numbers. As far as the rest of the world, the United States leads the number of cases of coronavirus with 755,162. That's up 16,370. So the United States has not hit the peak. There have been 40,000 deaths, 40,109 deaths. That's up 1,095 deaths from yesterday. Spain is second with 195,944. That's up 1,528. So the United States has gone up tens of thousands of cases. Spain, which is second, has gone up by 1,500 cases. That just kind of puts it in perspective where we are as far as the rest of the world. And I know the president and his administration has says that China is underreporting. Well, even if China is underreporting, and China is reporting 82,000 confirmed cases, that still does not explain the 755,000 cases that are currently in the United States and continuing to rise by tens of thousands of cases daily. Let's draw into the United States. So currently, the United States, like I said, has 755,162 cases and 40,000 deaths. 68,822 have recovered and been discharged, and again, 40,000 deaths. As far as the leading states, New York still